Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2020, the album, Dad AF. Pour some sugar on me. I love that song so much. Listen. I drive around in my car. Where's my coffee? I'm like reaching for my coffee and it's gone. It's over there. It's over there with the head nod. I drive around in my car and I put my lip gloss on and I feel awfully glamorous and fancy. And I listen to the 70s at 7 or the 80s at 8 and I imagine that my hair is feathered. Pour some sugar on me. All right, let's get to this video. Now, if you don't know what you don't know is a lot, I have already made a previous video today. I talked about the fact that Jeffree Star has finally come out of hiding. And I also talked about all of these people that are still coming out against Shane Dawson and have more to say about Shane Dawson. So please go check that out. I will link that video right here. No, those are my birthday flowers. I don't link videos. So just go check it out. It's my last video. All right, I have so many things I want to talk about in here today. I want to talk about Tati's video and some things I think about it. I want to talk about Trisha Paytas, and she put up a video called Tati is Dumb. I want to talk about some things that Shane Dawson said in his little live Instagram story that I think is complete manipulation, and something that Ryland came out and said, and I want to talk about a lot of these things. So I kind of split all of my 14 points into 2 videos. So let's get into this. The first thing that I want to say, getting into this, I'm just going to go right through my notes, is that in the live stream, Shane Dawson, when Tati said something about releasing information, he goes, no, that was you releasing information to drama channels. Okay, now, as a drama channel, and I think all drama channels know this, we know what has gone on behind the scenes. So, I'm going to clarify this for anybody that has any question about this whatsoever, okay? There were 2 channels that Tati had released information to. In fact, I think that Tati even came out and said this at the time. And those 2 channels were Here for the Tea and Tea Spill, I believe, okay? And she gave them information in regards to statements about the Sugar Bear hair thing, okay? She didn't give them any information about what was coming out in this video, okay? Now, I have heard that they are willing to, like, I think Here for the Tea put up a statement saying that she was more than willing to release her DMs with Tati to prove that. So, no, which is interesting because Shane's pointing the finger, okay? Now, what we do know through Ashley Kyle and her doing a video showing about how Jeffree Star was messaging her, that Ashley Kyle did know about the video coming out and that Jeffree Star had told her that there was a video coming out, right? So it was Jeffree that was releasing that information, and Shane would know that because Shane was, you know, thick as thieves at that time with Jeffree Star and filming all of this. In fact, you know, they sat down. To this moment, it's very confusing to me, like that whole very contrived video that, you know, Shane did of like, let's sit there and watch the Bye Sisters video, and just kind of like all of a sudden did he go, oh, it came up, like, Andrew, grab your camera, you know? So, you know, like, Shane would know that that was Jeffree. So the fact that he came out and he said that about Tati, I think, like, Jeffree and Shane like to rewrite history and think that people forget things, okay? And I'm not saying that Tati doesn't either. Tati does too. These people forget that, like, many of us that are on Twitter and many of us that make drama videos, we remember the history like that, okay? Most of us, because we've covered it, or we've watched it, or we've got the receipts and the screenshots in our phones and things like that that we can go back to and refer. So Tati has come out and she has said a lot of things that are kind of like, I don't know, this kind of like contradicts what you said a year ago, and I'm like going to put together a video about some of that down the road eventually. I think other people are going to probably talk about that as well. And, you know, like Shane Dawson is definitely coming out and saying things that aren't true. So that's the first issue that I had, was that he said this whole thing about drama channels. I'm like watching this and I'm like, you're manipulating people. First of all, you took it to a live stream and you got right up to the point where she said that she reached out to Shane for, who is texting me? She reached out to Shane because she was concerned about James Charles. And at that point, that's when he cuts the live stream off. So he doesn't want that to be heard, but he wants enough of it heard where he's ranting and raving around his house to send people to her video, which is, she got mass like dislikes on her video. So I think that that was just very contrived and calculated on Shane's part, okay? That's just my opinion, The next thing I want to say is that at the part where she's talking about her history, okay, her personal history that she shared with him, you can hear it in the background, and she's talking about it, and she uses, you know, certain words, and Shane looks at that's when he looks at the television screen, and he says, fake tears, you're lying, fake tears. Okay, first of all, to take somebody's story and publicly say that it is fake and that she's lying about that, like, I don't even know what to make of that, okay? But my question to you is, Shane, you came out in your video and you alleged that you had had a horrible childhood. So why is it okay with you and it's not manipulative, but when Tati says it in a video, it's manipulative, okay? So if we're gonna hold Tati to that standard, we better be holding Shane Dawson to the same standard as well, okay? If we're not gonna be, you know, allow one person to use this as an escape route, then none of them should be able to use it, okay? But when we wanna disregard people's personal stories and their histories of their past, like, give me a break, you know what I mean? Like, that to me just was so cringe to watch him say that. So I want to talk about that. The next thing I want to talk about is Ryland's tweet. Okay, so Ryland came out yesterday and he made this tweet, and in the tweet he said, and this is just my personal opinions of things I'm thinking about, so you can love me or hate me for it, but he put out these tweets. Let me pull them up really quick. So Ryland Adams, he said, hold on a second, Tati Westbrook, a masterclass in manipulation. The only way to save her reputation was to side with the person she tried to ruin. Make no mistake, this 40-year-old woman chose to post a video on her own accord. She riled up Shane before doing so to have one of the biggest creators backing her, and the chance this all backfired. Shane very well would have posted a video exposing James had he felt so inclined. No, which he would never have posted that video, let's just be for real. Okay, so I have a couple issues with this. First of all, there were so many people last night that were saying, you know, Tati's 40 years old, Tati's 40 years old, Tati's 40 years old, on and on and on, okay? I'm 48 years old. I just turned 48 years old on Monday. I will still make mistakes in my life. I hope that I will own up to those mistakes when I make them and that I'll learn and I'll grow from them. But to imply that somebody stops growing and stops learning at a certain age, or that that person cannot be manipulated even at their age, that's like saying that somebody can't be manipulated at 60 or 70 years old, okay? And quite frankly, that's ageist. And people were defending this because I put this up on Twitter last night, and I said, like, can we add ageist to this? So let me define ageist for you, for those of you that don't know what ageist means. Hold on a second, let me pull up my receipts. Ageist is characterized by or showing prejudice or discrimination on the grounds of a person's age, okay? And Ryland said it in his video, which to me means that he's looking down on this woman who is 40 years old, okay? When Shane Dawson has done much worse, and he is, what, 31 or 32? Okay, so Tati's not 40, okay? She's 38, so he's 7 years younger than her, okay? Jeffree Star is 34 years old. Do we excuse Jeffree Star? I mean, he's 4 years younger than her, okay? That's like a freshman to a senior in high school, so let's just be real. Or a freshman in college to a senior in college, okay? I don't think that's fair to excuse that away based on age, okay? I'm just saying. All these people are relatively within the same 10-year span. To be calling her out for being 40 years old, I just, like, you know, I just have such a huge issue with that, okay? I just really do. And for people that want to come over here and say, oh, you're excusing this away because you're an older YouTuber, no. I have held these people, Tana Mojo, James Charles, I said, they don't get a pass, blah, blah, blah. Developmentally, we stop growing when we are 25, but that still doesn't mean when they have a public platform that they shouldn't be good role models for people that are younger than them, right? Okay, but like 25 and forward, like, I don't know. Do we not all learn and know and grow? So to continue to point out somebody's age to me is, I'm sorry, it is ageist, right? And then he goes in, and there's such hatred and venom in his voice about how he speaks about her. So he says all this, right? And then he says, hope you enjoy those sold-out vitamins that made you millions in minutes from Shane support, you two-faced liar. Okay, now listen. I am sure that this is not going to be the most popular opinion ever. I like Morgan Adams. I think Morgan Adams, her content stands for herself, and I know a lot of people that like her, okay? Do I think it's baffling to me that she has the incredible following that she has in such a short amount of time? Absolutely. Do I think that that's the doing of Shane Dawson? Absolutely. Ryland Adams had very little following. He was on Clever TV before he started dating Shane Dawson. When they started dating, Shane said that he wasn't going to put him in a lot of videos. He wasn't going to do boyfriend tags and all this kind of stuff. Shane Dawson literally handed Ryland Adams a career. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't as his boyfriend and fiance, but let's just be for real, okay? I have, quite frankly, never found Ryland Adams' videos funny. I don't even consider his vlogs really vlogs. For him to win these Vlogger of the Year, are you kidding me? There are 10 times harder working vloggers out there. Hell, I'll own it. I get in a car and I vlog every single night for an hour and a half, okay? So, you know, him doing these Kylie Jenner makeup deals like that to me is not, I don't find any humor in it. His career would not be where it was if it wasn't for Shane Dawson. Period. End of story, okay? Let's look at Nathan Schwann's popularity since he and Jeffree Star have fallen apart, okay? So Ryland Adams was given his career through Shane Dawson, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, okay? They're dating. He's his fiance. You know, that makes total sense. Fine, okay? But let's not point the finger, okay? I mean, you basically got your career off the same thing. So, like, what is that? Like, I don't even understand that. Like, I have a real issue with that. And then he goes in and he's like, don't F with me and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just like, for me, this nice guy act that Ryland has put on, that I've even witnessed myself, like, I'm like, who is that Ryland? Who is that Ryland that is like pushed into a corner? Like, it's a lot, you know? So then I want to go in and I want to talk about, where is it at? I want to talk about this Trisha Paytas video. Okay, so first of all, Trisha Paytas said in her video, she said it once, she said it 10 times, that Tati was 40 years old, okay? Now, I addressed this issue on Twitter last night, and Trisha Paytas chose to directly respond to me, and she said, hold on a second, she said, "Hi, sir." Using her age because a 19-year-old can get away with blaming others for making her upload a video. Anyone over the age of 19 cannot use this as an excuse. Hope that clears it up, kissy face. Very nice about the whole thing. Thank you, Trisha. Okay, but now I want to read you a response that I got, because there was this huge discussion underneath my tweet last night about what age is appropriate to say that you're emotionally manipulated, what age is not appropriate. People were saying age is relevant because Tati is 40 years old, or she's not. She's 38, okay? Allow her to enjoy her 40th birthday when she reaches it. I personally love my 40s, okay? My 40s have been some of my best years. And when I turned 48 the other day, my dad texted me and he said, "Pete, it just gets better in your 50s. So I don't have any problem getting older, okay? I earned every single wrinkle and line on my face, and I love my white hair and beard. So I don't have any issue with getting older. I just wish time would stop, because I'm sad that things are happening, like my dog passed away and, you know, whatever. Like, these are things that make me sad, but I don't have any issue with getting older. So all these people wanting to point out Tati's age is really, it's patronizing and condescending to somebody that's your elder, right? And if you think that they should be acting a different way, then demonstrate that yourself. Demonstrate how somebody that's 30 years old, Trisha, should be acting, okay? Because quite frankly, your track record, which she then comes out and she's like, I don't blame anybody for this and I don't blame anybody for that. You don't blame anybody for it. You take total responsibility for it, but you continue to do it. You continue to do all of these problematic things over and 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 over again. Lost my voice. At your age, okay? So if nobody can get away with that at 19, then I guess should you have been canceled a long time ago? Because you don't have any problem doing this stuff, okay? And I, quite frankly, as of yet, haven't heard real great apologies from Trisha Paytas ever. But I do know that she made a video about Laura Lee and said in the video, I'm inserting myself, and that video is sitting at 5 million followers. Got more videos and more views than half the videos that happened at that time. And she said, I'm not even in the beauty community. And she spoke against Laura Lee for 18 minutes about Laura Lee's tweet, okay? Now she's come out against Tati's video, right? Why don't you talk about Jeffree Star? Why don't you talk about Shane Dawson? Then she wants to get in this video and say that her and Jeffree Star aren't that close. Jeffree Star just came out in an Instagram story and said that he and Trisha were like this. He said that. So Trisha, are you saying that Jeffree Star is a liar? Is that what you're saying? You said in the video that you had issues with what happened in Las Vegas and you didn't want to go into it because you were more concerned with coming for Tati than you were for addressing all these issues with Shane Dawson, okay? So anyway, Trisha goes in and she says that, you know, Shane Dawson is like a brother to her and she'll never come out against him and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, I got this tweet on here. I want to make sure that I get it correctly. Somebody said, because I put in my tweet something about like, you know, Shane calls Trisha a pathological liar, but she's like his brother, or he's like her brother, blah, blah, blah. So someone said, when did Shane call Trisha a liar? Shane would never do that. Trisha and Eugenia are defending Shane and Jeffree, who caused this mess, and staying silent. It makes me sad. So the person that asked me this question, Shane Dawson told me that Trisha was a pathological liar. When I was in Las Vegas, Trisha had contacted me and said that she wished that she could be there with Shane and I, okay? And I said something to Shane about it, and Shane said Trisha would never come out here, okay? He goes, she's a pathological liar. That's what he said. Period. End of story. My husband was sitting right there. My husband's nobody's liar. So either I'm the liar or they're the liar. But I'm telling you, he called Trisha Paytas a pathological liar. Period. He called Tana Mojo a narcissist and sociopath. Okay? That's how he talks about the people that he cares about behind the scenes. So there, y'all want to know how he talks about everybody? That's how he talks about people, okay? Then later, when I tried to do this nice thing in LA for somebody else, and Trisha was totally on board to do it, it has nothing to do with her, but Shane leaped in and did it. This is what my issue was with him initially, okay? And when he leaped in and I was just like, I'm so kind of confused by this. And then when I asked him about it, he was like, well, you said you didn't, when we were in Vegas, you said that you didn't get along with Trisha. I'm like, no, you're a liar. You told me Trisha was a pathological liar. Now you're using that against me and acting like I had an issue with Trisha. So what did you tell Trisha behind the back that I never said? Because I never said anything negative about Trisha when we were in Las Vegas, period. Period. I said, did she lie to me? I don't know. Like when he said she was a pathological liar. So anyway, so that was what that's about. Shane Dawson called Trisha Paytas a pathological liar. That's how he looks at her as a sister. Anyway, so over this stuff. Oh, by the way, this Katie Turner that sang the prom night song in the series that has now been demonetized and copyright claimed by Sony. So none of Shane's series are up right now. None of his Beautiful World of Jeffree Star series is up because Sony has come out and copyright claimed that. That's a lot, okay? Katie Turner, who got a lot of recognition off of this, apparently she's getting a lot of hate. And she came out and said, I am so upset. I swear to God, I didn't know any of this. And she shouldn't be associated with this. She shouldn't. And she said, please, please, please do not associate me with what's happening right now. I beg of you. So leave the girl alone. She didn't have anything to do with it, right? So there's that. I want to talk about the Trisha Paytas thing. You know, this video where she goes on and on and on and on and on. First of all, I want to say two things about Tati's video before I get into Trisha's video or it won't make sense. Number one, with Tati's video, I feel like Tati should have said at the beginning of the video, she should have acknowledged why she has not used her platform to address Black Lives Matter. I do agree with Trisha in her video about that. She should have said something about Black Lives Matter in there. She should have talked about her stance in that, or she should have talked about why she hasn't used her Twitter, her Instagram, nothing, okay, to address Black Lives Matter. She's been behind the scenes putting together this video. Tati should have addressed that, okay? I don't know why she didn't. I think it's a horrible look, and I think, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why Tati didn't do that. I've seen a lot of people say Tati's been going through a really emotional time and blah, 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 whatever. You know, like a lot of people are going through really emotional times and have continued to use their platform for Black Lives Matter, okay? So then Trisha goes in and she talks about this like literally over and over in her video, okay? So I actually went into Trisha's Twitter to look, since she's gonna point the finger at Tati. She has not posted, hold on a second, I have a screenshot, I think it's June 7th. Trisha has not posted anything regarding Black Lives Matter since 6/17, and it was a retweet, and all it said was, anyways, Black Lives Matter. Trisha really hasn't used her platform a whole lot. I mean, she did initially, but since then she hasn't a whole lot, and she made videos through there and talked about how it was uncomfortable for her to make videos, and she has posted nonstop videos about nonstop tweets about Gabby Hanna, nonstop tweets about David Dobrik and all of that, which, okay, she should, and all of that, but she's gonna come out against Tati and say what Tati should have been doing and all this time, but like her one point of reference is June 17th, but yet since June 17th, okay, in the last 2 weeks, it's been constant tweets about Gabby Hanna, David Dobrik, Gabby Hanna, David Dobrik, Gabby Hanna. I mean, it's constant, okay, constant. I mean, with a few things thrown in there about, do you want to see her bleaching techniques, which no, I'm quite good. I don't need to see all that. So anyway, I don't know what I think about all of that. You know, it's like she wants to always be the teacher in these lessons, and then she wants to come out, which I agree. I agree Tati should have used her platform for that. I agree that, you know, Trisha should have. I agree that we all should, you know, okay? But like, don't be the teacher if you're not the student as well, you know? I mean, I love that, like, the Buddhist saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Like, basically that means that we have to all be ready to be learning these lessons. I want to continue to learn lessons in my life, you know? And just because I'm, you know, 48 years old doesn't mean that I'm going to ever stop learning lessons. But in regards to this age thing, I want to read this thing. I don't think I read this already, did I? Someone sent me this a DM, and I think this is really poignant. And they said, "Hi, Peter. Maybe a dumb question, but why does no one believe Tati was manipulated because she's a grown 40-year-old woman? Can't people be in emotionally abusive marriages for their entire life? And wasn't the internet emotionally manipulated, gaslit by Shane and Jeffree despite video evidence to the contrary?" Which I think is very interesting because, you know, now everybody wants to talk about how this was a cash grab. Now everybody wants to talk about, we didn't know this Shane Dawson. We didn't know this Jeffree Star, right? How old are you? How old are you? So if we can apply that to the situation, then how is it different that Tati, she's not allowed to be emotionally manipulated, I guess, okay? And I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to understand all of this. So this person said, and wasn't the internet emotionally manipulated, gaslit by Shane and Jeffree despite video evidence to the contrary? If they can fool the public despite evidence, why is it impossible to believe Tati was manipulated? At what age do women magically detect all manipulation accurately? I'm excited for it. And I actually think that that is an amazing comment. I think it's an amazing comment to imply, you know, that, you know, women or men cannot be emotionally manipulated at whatever age, okay? That we have to point out their age as a fault. And I do take issue with that. I really, really do, you know? I don't think it would have taken away from Ryland's statement or from Trisha's statement to never once mention her age in there. People want to say it's relevant because, you know, she should know better at that age. Does that mean that at 37 she shouldn't have known as much as she did at 38? Because I have to tell you, sometimes I've learned more at 47 than I knew at 40, that I'll probably, you know, like we learn things as we go. We learn different lessons, you know? Some of the most valuable lessons I learned when I was 20, and some of the most valuable lessons I learned when I was 47. So, you know, we learn as we grow, and it also depends on when we're open to learning. I don't see any of these people open to learning. I don't see Trisha open to learning. I don't see, I don't know about Tati, what she's learning, because we've just seen one video, but I don't see a whole lot yet. I still see a lot of finger pointing and, you know, some accountability. I don't see Shane Dawson taking really any accountability. I don't see Jeffree Star taking any accountability whatsoever. None whatsoever. I think that's the end of all of my stuff. Hold on just a second. But I want to make sure, just so... yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, you know, it's interesting to see all of this going on, and I just want to kind of follow up with that. The other thing I want to say is that Tati should have started her video addressing the Black Lives Matter movement and why she didn't, you know, say anything about that. I also think, for me personally, it would have been a lot different if Tati had started her video, A, with that, but B, then she would have gone in and said, last year I uploaded the Bi Sisters video, okay? Nobody forced my hand to do that, and she did allege this in the video, but she didn't come out and say this, and I think if she had led with this, it would have made a huge difference. If she had said, nobody forced my hand to do that, did I feel emotionally manipulated? Yes. Did I feel like I had people in my ear? Yes, but ultimately, it was my decision to upload that video. Had she done that, I think her video would be received much differently, but she didn't say that. She alleges that in the video, but she doesn't come out and say that, and maybe that's for legal reasons. You know, a lot of people are saying she didn't post any receipts, and I even said that. I said she didn't post a lot of receipts, and you know, I do believe, after talking to some friends and things like that, and I talked to an attorney friend of mine and asked him a lot of questions about this, and he is somebody that does entertainment law, he said if she really has all that information, she literally cannot show it in a video at this time until her legal team tells her that she can release that information. And I said, can she talk about it? He goes, oh, she can talk about it all she wants. It's her experience. It's her story. But she cannot show any evidence if she ever wants to use it in a court of law. So that's what an attorney told me. I don't know if that's true, but like for Tati. Anyway, so that's it. If anything else happens today, I will be back on here making a video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.